Welcome to the Gleaners Corporate Coffee Mornings. I'm your host, Barbara Ellington, and this morning I have the pleasure of welcoming Lime's CEO, Mr. Garry Sinclair. You don't mind if I call you Gary, do you?
No, not at all, Barbara. Pleasure's
Okay.
mine, by the way, to be here.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Now, we're going to start off on a not so pleasant foot for you,
Oh, no.
and that's to do with the recent upsurge in the theft of your cable. I mean, $400 million over quite some time. What are you doing to address that right now?
Yeah, well, the cost of the theft obviously is a consideration, but the primary issue is that it results in loss of service to customers who are obviously very upset by the fact that their service is down and really don't care why. They just need it back up. So, for that reason alone, we would really like these vandals to cease the kind of activity that they're engaged in. We've obviously stepped up the security around our cable quite a bit in the last couple of months, and we've installed alarm and other theft detection devices that are actually bearing some fruit now, finally. I mean, we're actually catching some of these guys red-handed, and we're actually prosecuting them as well. And so that's one of the things we really want to ensure, that potential vandals out there recognize that this is not going to be a consequenceless activity. We are going to be detecting them, catching them, and we're going to be prosecuting this kind of activity to the fullest extent of the law.
Do you have tangible evidence that it's actually going to the scrap metal trade? Have you been able to
I
follow
don't
the
really want to go
trail?
into the details of sort of what our process is, but let me just say that it is clear in a lot of the cases that that is why this theft is occurring. There has been just some vandalism, like the most recent event out in Ferry, right after the verdict, coincidentally, in the Vibes Cartel case. We had this just seemed like a wanton act of vandalism where our cables were just burnt. So there are acts of vandalism apparently, but largely we believe that it is being fueled by the scrap metal trade, and we have our reasons why that I don't want to discuss.
We have 14 parishes now. You say you're taking steps to protect your cable with alarm, things and so on. Do you have the resources to protect your cable? Obviously, you have not been doing such a good job to date.
Well, thank you for that realistic assessment of the job we've been doing. But as you point out, it is not easy. I mean, we have miles and miles of cable
That's right.
traversing, sometimes, often, some very desolate areas. They're not always along busy streets. So it is not an easy job to secure all of those kinds of assets. But there are hotspots that we have developed a profile of where a lot of this vandalism tends to occur over and over and over again. And so, again, without sort of letting the vandals and the thieves in, on too much of what we're doing, we have the ability, we believe, to, in a very selected way, determine where we have to absolutely secure and where we're going to be able to have the most success at catching these criminals red-handed.
Now, how does this impact on your bottom line? How badly does it impact on the bottom line when you have to spend valuable dollars replacing
That's a huge
good
impact.
cables?
That's a huge impact, and that's obviously a consideration.
Like percentage of the budget, how much do you have to spend?
I
to
don't
do
really
that?
want to get into the absolute numbers. Suffice to say that it is obviously has a huge impact on our bottom line. But more importantly, like I said, the impact it has on our customers' service experience is what really, really concerns us, because we are on a drive now to increase and improve the quality of service we provide to customers, and this just does a huge amount of damage to that effort that we're all engaged
When
in.
you lose cable to theft, to just wrap this up, how much time does it take on average to restore service to your customers?
Obviously depends, Barbara, on the degree of the damage that's done. But we try to get service back up again as quickly as possible. So that is really the impetus to get moving again, to get service back up. And that is, customers are down, they're upset. Big corporate customers are down in a lot of cases and are upset. So, anywhere within 24 hours, I mean, and obviously within hours, and in sometimes less than an hour, depending again on the degree of the damage. We want to get service back up again. And our technicians work tirelessly. I just want to put a word in for them, because they work 24/7
Okay.
at getting this kind of thing done. Don't sleep off. And again, in furtherance, I'm just trying to take care of customers.
Okay.